produce in Ashland?
I think they're benefiting from the fact that we really focused in on what we thought we were going to do well as an offense. We carried that through the off season, through the spring, through the summer. They got a lot of repetitions on similar concepts. It doesn't necessarily mean that we line up the same way, but conceptually it's the same stuff, right? And I think they've benefited a lot from that. Obviously, we'll game plan more specifically, right, for Baylor, but I think our quarterbacks at this stage are handling the offense pretty well. They're making pretty quick decisions, getting the ball out of their hand. We've got good skill, which is helping. Defense is throwing a lot at us, and they've adjusted pretty well. Every day is something new, right, that we have to contend with offensively, and that they have to contend with, behind the center. So, pretty pleased where they're at right now.
Hughes talked about not trying to do too much as a quarterback. You mentioned some of that skill. How important is that, just to kind of take the play that's there instead of trying to make maybe the big play, taking chances, taking risks?
Yeah, I don't think that we've. I understand the question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we've demonstrated, in any way, forcing a big play, because we're moving the sticks with especially on a quick game. In a 5-minute space across the field stuff, we're getting the ball out, getting it completed. We're drop stepping and getting first downs. We have skilled guys that can get upfield. But to your point, quarterback has to understand that you need to take as much information and process as much information as you can to get the play executed, and nothing more. You don't need any more than that.
Yeah.
Right. And some quarterbacks, we don't really have that in a room with these guys, but some quarterbacks want to process too much information. And then what happens is it hinders their recall. When a play signal in, have an immediate recall and a picture and a movie of how to execute that play, because you've done it over and over again. And you don't need to fill your mind with extra information that really is just going to bog down the timing of your decision making.
What do you want to see the next 2 weeks from Jackson and the rest of the quarterbacks as you guys move in, closer to the game prep and getting ready for Baylor?
Well, we're gonna start to, as we get closer, we're gonna start to layer the learning for our game plan for Baylor. We're gonna get the proper cut-ups done and make sure that as we piece the game plan together, the cut-ups correspond with the game plan, and that we layer the progression of the learning going into that game, so we're fully prepared to be great decision makers, distribute the ball properly.
How much, as an offense, how much does that help when you start to tailor things?
A lot.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a lot right now with our defense, and it'll be better when we start to focus in, and not sure exactly when that's going to start, but it'll probably happen here pretty quick.
What are some of Jackson's strongest traits that maybe y'all saw when he was in the portal that wanted y'all to bring him in here?
Physically, he's got a really quick release. He's really accurate. He can spot the ball to get the ball completed. He just has, the natural passers just have a knack to throw receivers open, right? And the other thing that Jackson brings is he's a really effective runner. He's a lot faster than you realize, and he's strong. So we'll be able to utilize him in the QB run game and just him extending plays with his athleticism.
After last season at Oklahoma with Jackson, what did y'all as a staff feel like you guys needed to do to get the best out of him at Auburn?
Well, we spent time with him, right, and fully vetted, the background that he had there and what he went through, and he's sometimes things don't work out. That's not necessarily indicative in any way of an individual's personality, or sometimes a fresh start's a good thing, right? Jackson's highly competitive and wants to be good, and wants to be good here. He chose us because he felt like he could excel here with the team around him and the skill around him and the coaching staff with Coach Freeze and D. Nix and others, right? So I treated him like any other quarterback. You come in here, we're going to prepare you to play, and we expect you to, when you go on the field, to be the most prepared player on the field and to carry yourself that way, right? To have a confident humility that is demonstrable to the players around you, right? And can influence them in a way to pull the best out of them as well.
We talk to guys and quarterbacks, spent a lot of time with running backs and offensive line and wide receiver all summer and bonding.
Yeah.
How valuable is that when you get on the field in preseason camp?
They spent a lot of time together. We spent a lot of time together. So there's good relationships. We have a room. We have a quarterback room that people naturally, that others naturally gravitate to. These guys are endearing guys. They're confident, but they have humility. They understand the importance of humility, and also to gain trustworthiness of their teammates. And the players around quarterbacks need to know when they take the field that they're going to help put them in a position to be successful and as a unit be successful, right? And that comes through dedicated preparation. And our quarterbacks are all wired that way.
What dimension does Eric Singleton Jr. has he brought to the offense?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Eric's talent is obvious. It's on display every day. Anybody knows anything about football can just watch him run routes and catch the ball. His explosiveness, ability to make people miss in space, ability to run the ball. He's stronger than you think. But the thing I've been impressed with him is he actually comes to work every day. As talented as he is, he is a really hard worker, and I think Marcus does a great job with those guys and getting the best out of them and keeping them focused on hard work and not just relying on their talent, but to push through, especially when you're in the middle of camp and you get tired. The receivers do a lot of running, and Eric is just he's a real team guy. I've not been around as Marcus has, but I see a guy that leads through his actions, and he's a natural playmaker.
What
Ken,
about
how did Jackson, the first team offense, perform in the scrimmage roundup?
Good. We stuttered a couple times. There's little mistakes across the board offensively. Jackson played well. He graded high in his decision. We grade two things. We grade decision making and physical execution, right? And what I mean by the decision making is there are rules and recognition and recall that a quarterback has to have to make the proper decision at the right time to put our offense in a position to be successful. And that's the most important thing a quarterback has to have, is the ability to make great decisions. And because if you don't have the physical skill set, it's kind of a prerequisite to play at this level. You either have the skill set or you don't. That's not what makes you a quarterback, right? And so we grade every single snap a quarterback, like every snap today, every snap this summer, every snap was graded. And then are they executing it physically the way we've taught you to do that, right? And fundamentally, are you playing the game the way you should play it? So we graded well. Our we've got a good defense, and they played well. It should ebb and flow like that. We've had days where we got after the defense. They've had days where they got after us, and that actually is a sign. We'll see. We'll get to regular season, but in my past, that's been a sign of a more complete football team. If it's all one-sided, that's probably an issue, and it's not been that way. So that's a good thing.